Hello there and welcome back to my channel. How are we doing today? Today I'm going to talk to you about a video that I probably should have done when I started making these Friday and Wednesday videos, as well as the weekly vlogs, but I'm doing it today. So I'm going to be talking to you about my goals that I set at the beginning of the year and a very late half review on them, because I want to see where I am, and I'm going to apply a method called the S.M.A.R.T method that my mum's told me about and sounds really good to get me through to the end of the year, and then I will review them on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day or sometime after that, but I will review them and see how this method works for me or doesn't work for me. Now I've got some notes that I'm going to read off to you to remind myself about what I'm doing and to just set it in my head, and hopefully it will help you guys too. In 1981, a man named George T. Doran, got it right that time, published a paper titled There's a S.M.A.R.T method, there's a S.M.A.R.T way to write management's goals and objectives. Now there's a diagram here that I'm going to talk through. It says S.M.A.R.T goal setting. S stands for specific, M stands for measurable, A stands for action orientated, R stands for realistic, and T stands for time framed. Also a quick note, as you can tell from the title, these are only about my personal goals. I'm going to be doing my business goals as a separate video which will be coming up very soon. So getting on with this video, again I've got notes to help me out because I will not be able to remember this for love nor money. So my new best friend George said that a goal should be specific, as in what do you want to improve and why. Measurable, asking how much I want to do and by when. Action orientated, meaning know the big goal and break it down. Realistic, i.e. not dreaming of being by the beach and skiing at the same time, because that just won't work. And time framed, so I have a set deadline of when I want these things done by. Mr. Doran also admitted that not every goal will have all 5 elements, but using these may help me focus. So let's see how right George is, shall we? So my first goal that I wrote on my blog post was, it's my life and I want to live it how I choose it, rather than people telling me how I want to live my life, which people are very quick to do. My mum and dad tell me what I could do and I ask them questions as to what I should do, but all of my decisions are my own. They never force an idea on me, and they never ever make me do anything I don't want to do, especially when it comes to my life, because they respect me enough to know that it's mine and I want to do what I want, with respecting them obviously. So right now I am happy working at home, happy blogging and now vlogging, which I wasn't expecting to be doing at this time of year or this year at all. I do face daily challenges in that I am a carer for my uncle and I help look after my cousin's children at a drop of the hat, which is both excellent because I get to look after them and have so much fun with them and be a part of their life, but it's a negative in the sense that I lose precious time in working. And if anything has taught me anything, is that these couple of videos that I'm doing at the moment I'm having to do before I get my hair cut, and then after that I'm doing 2 weeks worth of videos after I have had my hair cut for when I'm on holiday. So time is hugely precious and that can be a struggle sometimes. The other thing at the moment is that I don't really have a cut-off time for work. I work from about 9, say 10 on average. Hold on a second, Poppy wants to come in. Where was I? Oh, that's right. I don't tend to have a cut-off time for work, like a stop time. I work from about 9 o'clock in the morning all the way through to, well, I have breaks in between. I have a lunch break, that's half an hour to an hour, and then I have dinner break, which is usually 2 hours by the time I've walked the dogs and had dinner with my mum. But I tend to work till about 8, 9 after that, and that's not amazing because I don't want to be working 12, sometimes even 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. I don't want to be working 12-hour days. If that's what this business needs, I will do so, and I will continue to do so until it is at the stage that I'm happy with. But I don't want to have to be working 12 hours every day, because that kind of seems ridiculous if there are other options that I haven't explored yet. Especially also being a carer and being a on-call babysitter. It's hard to then also get time off, because with my uncle I'm here, I work from home as you can tell, and I'm here day in, day out if he needs me, or if anyone needs me really. If my cousin needs me to babysit, if my grandmother needs me to do something, who I live with as well, and my uncle needs me to do anything, I'm right there at a drop of a hat with no questions asked. As I was saying, I do have regular breaks. I work for about, so if I start work at 9, I then stop at 10 to 10 and then do steps on just like a little Wii board, you know, like the old game console Wii board. I do steps on that to get some exercise in, because that will be good for me, and it's in the house, so I'm not having to go out, and I'm around. As I say, if anyone needs me, that's a huge thing for me at the moment. Well, has been for ages. And exercise is huge to me as well, which will come up later in this video. Another great thing about where I am at the moment is that if I don't feel well, which is unfortunately fairly regular, I don't have to work. I can just lie down on the sofa and not stress about having to call in, losing money by not going in and getting sick pay. You know, I don't have to worry about all those things. Those are huge benefits to me. So the long-term goals for that particular segment of my personal goals is that I want to continue working as much, well, not as much, but continue doing what I'm doing. Yeah, continue doing what I'm doing. I want to add different challenges to it, like I want to do Halloween and Christmas and all of those things. Like I want to do, Zoella did 24 days of Zoella. I wanted to do that this year, but I'm just in nowhere near prepared for it. So I'm hoping to do that this year, next year. And this year I also wanted to do 31 days of Halloween on this channel as well, and on my blog as well. But again, I don't have the time. I haven't worked out my schedule for it and everything, and it would be too pressureful to try and figure that out. The other thing is that I want to be able to stick to future challenges. Me just talking about not being able to this year, as of next year or the year after even, or maybe even 3 years. These are long-term goals after all. Well, long-term sections of the goal anyway. I want to be able to stick to the future goals, challenges even, and be able to achieve them without too much heartache and pain, because they do take serious amounts of work. You know, they're not, oh no, I'll just write something and it will work first time. They don't, okay? They take a good amount of time to get things right, and it is difficult. When it doesn't work, I get very, very frustrated, and it can dishearten me quite far if it doesn't work. But that's the whole point of the challenge. So if I stay ahead with them, I then won't have enough time to worry about it, because it will be already done. Yeah, no, I don't know if that makes sense, but you get the same sort of drift. Going on from that, I also want to get ahead with goals. I want to be ahead of my work. Ideally, I'd like to be 10 weeks ahead for both my blog and my YouTube work. I want to be able to be 10 videos ahead, so that if my uncle needs me, if I need to babysit, if I've got other commitments that turn up out of nowhere, I can just drop everything and know that it's completely okay for 10 weeks, especially if anything were to happen. Like my mum had her hip operation, and I struggled for those 2, was it 2 months you were off? I really struggled for those 2 months to try and get ahead of work, or even be in time for work. You know, there were some times that I missed a deadline, which I hate doing, and hopefully with the long-term section of the goal I'll be able to not have to worry about that anymore. Another goal is that I want to be able to save money. That is a huge thing for me, and me and my mum are currently living in my grandmother's house because we are homeless. Our money is tied up with a scheme, and the person who is running it, who I shall not name, even though I know them, will not give it back, and we have been in this situation for the past 5.5 years. So I want to be able to, one, earn money from what I'm doing. This is what I want to do for a living. But 2, every penny, well, not every penny, because that's not how life works. Money goes out as quickly as it comes in, as I've learnt in the last year, really. Yeah, quicker than it comes in. That I want to be able to save every 5. I did a thing 2 years ago that every fiver I got in my purse I put into a money bank and I saved. I want to start doing that. I want to do that with every £1 and every 5 and sometimes every 10. But that depends on, that depends on other factor. But definitely the pounds and the £5 notes, because I think that will be hugely beneficial. And it won't solve a problem overnight, but it will certainly help, and that's all I've ever wanted to do, in terms of with my mum or just in general. That's all I ever want to do is help people, hence me doing a video like this. The other thing in the long term is to just not care. And I don't mean about my work, not care, don't care about how other people, don't care how I am about to other people. What I mean is I want to not care about what other people say to me. If someone says something to me and I don't like it, it hits me hard. And it literally takes me days, weeks, months to get over what that person has said. And sometimes, even now, I'm thinking of an argument that I had and I can still remember the pain of those words, and it still causes me pain now. And that was over 3 years ago. And I just don't want to be like that. It's not that I don't want to care about people, not for a second, because that's what I do. That's how I've grown up and that's who I am. But it's that I don't want this is a better summary. I don't want what other people say to me to even resonate if it's bad or good. So they were the long-term version for these goals. This is now the short-term, what I want to get done quite quickly, but not tomorrow. They are plan the next 6 weeks, and work out what I'm doing for the next 6 weeks in terms of work and just in general in terms of meetings and things, because I do have a lot of them with my uncle and things, so it helps me plan around those. I want to use a whiteboard that I have recently used to help me get past the time of the week after I'm back from my holiday. I want to use that to get ahead, and I will show it to you. Give me a second. It is this bad boy. So I've got the first week, second week, third week, fourth week, fifth week, sixth week, and then I've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right down here. And it's got the day, as I say, it's got the days of the week, and it's got what is going up on those days. So this I've found really, really beneficial and really useful, and this will be part of the way to getting to 10 weeks ahead, which is really, really good. So I am going to continue using this, and hopefully it will make a huge benefit. The next thing is to save, save, save. As I've just said, save every fiver and every pound. I want to start doing that. And I want to make that a regular thing, and to not just spend a fiver because it's easier. Spend the tenner, spend the 20, you know, I need to save money, and that's really the only way that it's going to happen. So I should really stick to it. And I want to self-care regularly. I want to take more time to myself and not be working constantly all the time. So if that's just sitting watching a film, if that's giving my hands a quick hand cream, if that's washing my face really well, you know, all those little things that make a huge difference to my self-esteem or my confidence, I'm definitely going to be wanting to do that. And for my immediate goal, well, for my immediate breakdown of the goal, I am going to be using the whiteboard. I'm going to have weekly meetings with my mum to brainstorm ideas and just to talk about what I want to do in the future. I want to achieve one goal per day, so that's probably one job a day really. So edit one video, encode a video, write a blog, take a blog picture, work out a recipe, vlog, although vlog's a weekly thing anyway. I want to save, 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 and I'm not going to go over that again because I've told you it twice. I want to set up a bullet journal because I think that will be hugely beneficial, and I have everything for it and I just need to do it, and I will do that with you also in a future video. I want to be stopping work at 8:30 every night because I have found the most traffic on Instagram to be between 8 and 9 at night. So I'm going to get as many of them scheduled before as I can, and then I will send them off at 8:15 or 8:30, and that's me done for the day. And because I work over the weekends as well, not Saturdays really because I'm at my dad's, but on Sundays I tend to film some videos as well, and I want to stop doing that at 2 p.m. so that I can watch films with my mum and just have a bit of chill time because we don't tend to get much of that during the week. I want to be reading at night because I found that that's helped me get the best night's sleep, which I am struggling with hugely at the moment, mainly because of the dogs, you two little monsters, but it's not doing me any good watching technology till 10:30 at night. So reading would be really, really good to help me calm down, and I have had a really good night's sleep recently, and that is because I read before I fell asleep, so I know that works, I just need to do it. And finally, I want to have my bedroom light out by 10 p.m. every night. I want to be able to get a good night's sleep, and I think 10 o'clock, I used to want to sleep at 9, and I still do, but to start with, I want to start sleeping at 10, turning everything off at 10, because I think that's a good start, and then it can just get better and better. And I will review this at the end of the year or beginning of next year, and hopefully I'll see a huge difference in my sleep, which would be really good, and just a huge difference in me if and when I follow all of these things that I've just told you about. So moving on to the second goal. My second goal to do with my personal is my health. Last year, actually on Halloween, I fell down the stairs, and that caused quite a bit of soft tissue damage and just swelling and unpleasantness on that foot, and it's taken a very long time to get better. And at the time when I wrote this blog post, it wasn't any better. This had hindered me losing weight and stopped it practically altogether, because I couldn't even walk on it, so that wasn't very beneficial. And losing weight is a big goal of mine. I've had that goal since I was 13, and I'm only just really starting to get there. So that's what, I'm going to be 22 this year, 9 years later, so hopefully it will start taking effect now. I already have problems with my chest, as you guys know. I get terrible chest pains, and when it decides to do it, it is absolutely pigging awful. I'm not going to go over it again, but that in terms of losing weight, I have wanted to do yoga, and I've wanted to do steps, I've wanted to do cycling, you know, all these things. And with my chest being so poorly, I haven't been able to do any of it, because if I stretch it too far, if I lift something that's too heavy, if I drink pigging dairy, it affects it. So that has hindered me quite a lot as well. But when I wrote this, I couldn't even walk, which was the only form of exercise I could do with my chest, because it didn't mean lifting anything. And that had stopped me full stop in doing that. So, you know, I had to wait for that to go down. And my knee had also got quite swollen and hurt. There's a weird lump at the top of it that I've had checked. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's rock hard, and that was giving me quite a lot of jip at the time. I wanted to have smoothies for dinner every single night, so I got my 5 a day, and, well, at least contributing to it, and I wasn't actually having a proper meal, because I tend to have dinner at about 6, 7, and then I was going to bed at 8, 9, which meant I only had 2 hours to work off that food. So having smoothies was a really good alternative to actually having a dinner, and stopped me from gaining weight. It helped me lose weight, but that went a bit awry, so I'll cover that in a second. I want to become completely fit, toned and healthy for the rest of my life. Those are 3 very important words. I don't want to lose weight, because that will detract from this goal. Losing weight is an end game, but being fit, toned and healthy is a forever. So that's how I like to view it. And I thought at the time that having smoothies for dinner was a good start to it. To losing weight, I mean. Well, to fit, toning and being healthy. So where am I now? I am with my chest. It is very temperamental. I can't tell you when it's going to do anything. I can do things and know that it's going to hurt, like lifting. My goddaughter will do it. Having dairy will affect it. It's just ridiculous. My leg and foot are okay, but I don't want to test it too much. Like, I was doing steps today and my ankle was hurting for some obscure reason, even though I've done far more on it the last couple of days than I had today. The smoothies I was doing, but then as I said, that went a bit awry. That went out the window because other things just happened. And my mum spoke to a professional about it when she was getting a breast screening done, which she's totally fine for, by the way. And they said that you shouldn't do it because they're full of sugar. So I'm going to have to find another alternative to that. I do get frequent chest pains and nausea. Nausea is a freaking killer, I tell you. But I'm having gingins to help that, but I want to know what's causing it. And to help me lose weight, I have my Fitbit, which my dad bought me for my birthday last year, and I have worn non-stop. And I've also got alarms on my phone at 10 to most hours. It's about 10 to 10, 10 to 11, 10 to 12, 10 to 1, 10 to 3, 10 to 4, 10 to 5, 10 to 6 and 10 to 7. But I don't do it for all of them. But that gives me, they then go off and I start stepping on my wee step for those 10 minutes to the hour. and then after that time I stop and get back on with work. So of course the end goal is that I want to be completely fit, toned and healthy. We already know that. In the short term, I'm going to look up what could be causing my chest pains and the nausea in my diet. I have changed my diet to a normal diet. I became gluten and yeast free, well, gluten free since I was about 13, 14. And then I became yeast free not too long after that, and now I am dairy free because of my chest. But I did that on my own, and touch wood, it has majorly helped me. If I now have gluten, I am ridiculously ill. Don't get me wrong, I'm not massively allergic to it. I won't die if I have it, but I do get very, very ill. I get a terrible, terrible migraine, and close to the point where I'm actually going to be ill, which isn't very nice, so I stay clear of that. I want to have a look at my meal sizes. I think that what I'm having is possibly too much in one sitting. So I want to be having... There's an old saying to do with this. The saying is breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, and dinner like a pauper, which I think is a very apt thing to what I want to do. So I'll have a very big breakfast, a medium-sized lunch and a very small dinner, but something that will sustain me through the night, which is what I was hoping the smoothies would do, but since finding out that they're full of sugar, probably not the best idea for my teeth or my body, really. When I found out that my chest was awful, and it is still not great, I did a thing a long time ago of going through a yoga book and looking at loads of different moves, or poses I think they're called. And I had a look at what I could reasonably do with my chest being bad. And I was doing it so I didn't have this space down here, so I was only going to be able to do it in my bed. So I worked out all those ages ago, and I still have the Excel spreadsheet. I'm sorry, I'm not very good at breathing when I'm talking this much. I still have the Excel spreadsheet, and I'm going to look at that, and I'm going to start some of them, I think, along with my mother, even though she doesn't know that, and as I've now told her, and she's shaking her head saying no. And I want to start walking my dogs at lunchtime. Well, my dog and my grandmother's dog. I live really close to a field, like literally it is across the road, and I want to start walking them round because steps is huge for me. I want to be doing more steps. And my dog Magic is currently overweight, so I want her weight to come down, and I just think it would be a huge benefit to all of us. So immediately what I want to do is have a look at what's causing my chest and my nausea. Like with my gluten-free success that I had and the yeast-free success that I had, I want to see if I can apply them to my chest and just to feeling sick. I want to come up with meals that I can have in the evenings and breakfast, lunch and dinner, if I'm honest, to give me the most of what my body needs for fuel. It won't cause me to have loads of weight put on. And then along with the weekly meetings that I'm going to do about my business and my day-to-day life, I want to go and talk about what me and my mum are going to be having for dinner and just meals in general, because I can make her a meal at night time and she can have that for lunch the following day at work, because her work doesn't have a microwave, so it has to be cold food, which is very boring after a while, but I can hopefully make something for her more interesting than she can buy in a shop. My third goal is to get married by the time I'm 30 and to find someone who will love and care for me, love, care and respect me as much as I will love, care and respect them. Where I am now, I want to be earning money with my business, which I'm currently not at the moment, before I get with someone, because I don't want it to be that I'm not providing anything to the relationship. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm good enough as I am, but it doesn't mean that I don't feel that I should put money towards it. This very much also coincides with my health goals, because when I am fit, toned and healthy, I want to then get married as well, because I hope that will give me a soar of confidence to be able to meet a fella and just go, hey. I am also every Saturday staying at my dad's every Saturday night, and I'm going to the pub with him to help me socialise, obviously working at home and also being homeschooled from the age of 16. I think I've very much lost the ability to be able to socialise to people. Not that I'm terrible at it, because I'm incredibly polite and everything, but actually being able to talk to people, not a huge strong point for me. I also want to be able to beat a lot of my anxiety with this. I have a lot of anxiety, I'm not even kidding, and I will have a major freak out over nothing. So hopefully sorting this, helping me becoming fit, toned and healthy, me earning money, me getting to know me a bit better and feeling better about myself will help my anxiety and therefore help me meet a guy. In the long term, for this goal, I want to be earning money with my business, which is a huge talking point, a huge point that I want to be able to do. And I want to be a size, well, I'd like to be a size 10, but I don't think that's ideal for my height, and I think I'll just look like Gollum. So if and when I get to the size I want to be, I ideally want to be a size 12, because I think that will look more realistic on me. If I get to a size 12 and think, no, I'm not happy, I'll go down to a size 10. But I want to be, from this, I want to be a size 12 and fit, toned and healthy. So in the short term, I want to follow my health goals, and also I want to follow my business goals, which I will be doing in a separate video, but I will go through with you then. Immediately, I want to be doing 10,000 steps a day. On average, you know, if I do less one day, it's okay. If I do more one day, it's okay. But as long as I'm hitting that on average, I will be doing a lot better. And as soon as I hit that, I will then bump it up to 12.5. When I hit that, I'll be hitting 15,000. You know, I want to progress with that. I don't think that's a standstill thing. All right, Mr. Train, calm down. I am going to investigate and do affiliate marketing, because I have done that in a previous business and that worked really well. I'm going to start up with that on the next weekly meeting that me and my mum have together. I am going to build on my confidence by getting my hair done in a couple of weeks, as I've already discussed with you, and I'm really excited for it, and you will see that in a couple of videos as well. And I am going to continue going to the pub with my dad. I'm going to continue socialising with people and getting to know how to talk to people, really, and that's all I have to say on that. And my fourth and final goal is having children. My thoughts on actually having children have not changed. I've always wanted to have children, and looking after my goddaughter so much, and her brother has taught me how much and shown me how much I want to have children. And I'm desperate for them now. If I could have them now, I would, but I'm in no way the situation to have my own children. But the way of me actually having my own children, in terms of either adoption or giving birth to my own children, have changed slightly, because I always thought I would give birth to my own children, but I'm now in the thinking process, through personal reasons which I'm not going to go through now, but I may do in a far future video. I may adopt my own children, as I say, for reasons that I'm not going to go into, but that is far more likely at this stage of my thinking than giving birth to my own children. I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot can happen in an hour, let alone in 10 years, 20 years, or when I have my kids, but I'm very much leaving it up in the air as an option, because, you know, there's a huge pulling point in my personal life, as I say, that I'm not going to go into, but it is a huge pulling towards adoption. And I remember actually talking to my mum about it, and I was saying how we were talking about something, and it meant having children as in terms of giving birth, and I thought for about a month that no, I'm just going to adopt my children, and it gave me actual hurt in my heart to think that I'm not going to adopt two lovely children who will give me such joy in my life as opposed to giving birth. And, you know, it sort of instilled in me that I can do either, and actually who cares? You know, it's my life and they are going to be my children regardless of who their biological parents are. You know, they'll be my kids. Anyway, that's getting a bit deep. But in terms of having children, has not changed in the slightest. I've always wanted children. That is not going anywhere. Where am I now? So these are the same goals as my marriage goals and my health goals. Yeah, I'm not going to go over them again because this video is already as long as it is. I can tell in that corner how long it is, and I don't think it's doing me any favours to keep going on about it. In the long term, short term and immediate, I want to find someone who accepts the idea of adoption being an option or becoming a reality, which I don't know how easy we'll be able to find, but you know, you never know who you're going to meet, and they're not going to be the right person if they're not open to that option. And focus on my health goals, which are a huge thing to me anyway. So all of that big boy document there is where I am at the moment. I'm going to follow the S.M.A.R.T method, follow that to the letter for the next couple of months until the end of the year, and I will let you know how I get on. I will be incredibly interested to see if this is better than just setting the goal and throwing it up in the air if that's what I'm going to do, instead of breaking it down, which I have been doing for this video. And it'll be interesting to see if the S.M.A.R.T method works for me. So that is it. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Let me know if you would use the S.M.A.R.T method for anything or what you would apply it to. And also let me know if it works for you. I'll be incredibly interested in that. Don't forget to check out all the links in the description, as I love them all and wouldn't put them there if I didn't. And finally, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you next time. Bye!